3, 2, 1. Professor TJ Sulit. Teka lang, tutuloy ko lang yung question ko. How was the move from city living to outside the city living? Like the transition. How was the transition? Like, were there any kind of adjustments or no? Kasi parang kahit kami, nag-consider kami ng ganyan na parang lipat na kaya tayo labas na kaya tayo dito.
Franco, hello to all of your listeners.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question, siguro the conveniences of city living for us back then, because we were living in Makati in a condo, especially in a condo, is that if you want to travel or you're leaving your home for a lengthy period of time, lock ka lang ng pinto mo, tapos drive ka na. Wala ka nang iisipin. Nandiyan yung mga gwardiya sa condo, sila na bahala dyan. Tapos pag may kailangan ka, at any time of the day, any time of night, baba ka lang ng condo, tawid ka lang ng kalye, may restaurant dyan, may convenience store sa baba, all the conveniences are there. So those are the pros of living in the city. Moving out here to Santa Rosa, the pros are the space, number one. So we're renting a house here, and that's a big deal because I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. So lumaki ako sa Marikina, pare. Nung bata ako, binigyan na kami ng bisikleta ng magulang ko. Tapos nag-bike na kami paakyat sa bundok ng Marikina. So we have that freedom, we have that space, and I wanted my kids to have that kind of freedom also. Mahirap gawin yun sa syudad, pare. Parang hindi ko maisipan na hayaan lang yung mga anak ko 10 years old.
Medyo Makati, dami sasakyan.
Dami sasakyan, tapos marami kang tao hindi kilala. At least dito, pag lumabas yung mga hindi pa lang ginagawa ngayon, but eventually, once they're a bit bigger, I would feel safe in this area to have them go around the village, take their bikes, play with the neighboring kids. And that space is, I think, essential for children while they're growing up. So that's the main reason that we transferred here.
And seems like a very good move. Kasi like, I see the social media posts, I'm like, maliwalas dun Parang masaya dun Parang okay dun Di ba? So at least
there's a 3-minute or mga 2-minute drive from the main road, yung Santa Rosa Tagaytay Highway, going to our gate, and in Nuvali. Tapos it's just all green sa tabi nun. Walang commercial establishments, walang buildings. Tapos doon pa lang, when you're on that drive, I can feel the tension from my shoulders lift. Parang nare-relax lang ako. Alam ko, chill lang kami dito.
Kasi I think that is the like most of the people around me, and testimonial nila was something similar to that. Na parang, bro, di ba when I used to be in corporate, I would have office mates. They work in BGC, tapos they go home Santa Rosa. Kasi sabi nila, bro, iba yung feeling. Sabi, it's a totally different environment. You feel exactly. I think that was in the same line. Like the tension now is being lifted. Parang that driveway or the road to home it soothes them. It relaxes them more. And I think that's very, very important for everyone who has a family or who wants to have to achieve a certain level of balance, diba? So pagdating natin dyan, like for everyone who's listening, he's the head coach of Origins Jiu-Jitsu, and definitely one of the people on my list that I wanted to have over because as always, I want to know the history behind the journey, kumbaga, the process, the journey, everything that he went through. So Professor TJ, please, your martial arts story. I mean, like, how were you introduced to it? How it all began?
Wow. So
magalala, marami tayong oras.
I started I started at a young age. I started martial arts when I was 11 years old. So my first martial arts is judo.
Right? Yeah.
So I got involved with judo in grade school pa lang. I was grade 6. And it was purely by accident lang. So, yung group of friends that I had, we used to get picked up sa Loyola gym in Ateneo. So, may antayan kami sa labas, may bench doon namin inaantay yung mga sundo namin. Tapos, kami, being grade schoolers, hindi kami pwede pumasok sa gym. Hanggang labas lang kami. Right? So, isang beses, nakauwi na ako, yung mga barkada ko, medyo makulit yung mga yan, nag-sneak in sila sa gym. Kasi yung kwento nila, nagpasok nila, may nakita sila na may nag-martial arts nga daw.
Parang pelikula
these
yun.
two big guys. So, nung time na yon, yung nakita nila is si Bart Cannon, saka si Pepito, yung best friend niya. Si Bart Cannon was our SEA Games medalist for judo at that time. So, these are big heavyweights, no? Tapos, yung mga friends ko, being bugoy, ginagago nila yung nakita nila. Parang minamak nila.
Minamak nila.
Yung nakengkoy nila. Yung nakita
yung mga
nila.
ginagaya-gaya.
So, ginagaya-gaya nila.
Comedy. Okay.
So, yung coach, si Mang Silo, Lucilio Santos,
okay.
Lumapit sa kanila. Tapos, sabi sa kanila, gusto nyong sumali. So, they had their first day.
Okay.
And the day after, kita ulit kami sa school, sabi na, TJ, nagsimula kami mag-judo. Sabi yung judo, parang karate ba yun? Basta, astig. Sama ka mamaya, sama ka. So, tama ako sa training session. So, first session ko din, nanonood lang ako dun si Bart Cannon. Same big guy na nakita nila. So, nanonood lang ako, biglang lapit sa akin si Bart. Big heavyweight. SEA Games medalist natin yan. Ganun siya. Ganito yung kinuha yung question niya sa mukha ko. Gusto mo mag-spar? Ito, laki na to. Pero yun lang, nag-ibiro lang naman sila. So, yeah, I started training with them. Tapos, it was very enlightening kasi nung time na yun, I was also training to be part of the baseball varsity ng Ateneo. So, pinagsabay ko yun, baseball saka judo.
Wow.
Yung experience ko naman sa baseball, so, baguhan rin lang ako do. I wasn't really good naman at catching or throwing or anything. I just wanted to learn, But yung pitcher nila, yung pitcher ng team, medyo maangas. Yung first day ko, he'll just throw a fastball in my face.
Okay.
Tapos syempre, parang it's very intimidating, it's very unnerving, and he was very unforgiving with doing that. And there was a lot of posturing and a lot of parang territorial kissing.
Alpha male
big guy doon, alpha male siya doon. In contrast, sa judo, everyone was very kind, everyone was very accommodating, they were all gentle, right? And no one postured, no one displayed any attitude. And it was very ironic kasi, you got this one sport where there's this guy, his talent is for throwing a ball, and he's showing so much ego and posturing and, trying to assert his dominance over everyone. Wherein, on the other side, may isang sport dito na talagang nagbubugbugan lang talaga sila for 2 hours every day. But no one was displaying any aggressive behavior towards each other. So eventually, may isang training day sa baseball, sabi, kung it was a Saturday, same training day sa judo. Sabi, if you have to attend the training on baseball, mas makakuha mo na yung uniform mo. Pero pag hindi ka mag-attend, then you won't get it. So that day, I decided to go to judo practice and I never went to baseball again.
Okay.
So, ayun, then continue na ako ng judo dun. Tapos, after 3 months of training in judo, sabi ko sa coach ko.
Prof, sorry. Ang tawag do like, hindi ka pa guaranteed sa judo team nito or you were in already?
Walang judo team nung time na yun.
Okay.
Bawal lang grade schoolers sa gym. So there was no grade school. There was no high school team nga even. So
you were a grade school student training with these were like what, college students na?
College.
Wow.
College na yun,
Puta, solid yun.
There were a few guys from high school. There's a few guys from high school. Siguro mga 3 guys from high school na nakikitrain na sa college. And then
Mhm.
us sa grade school, eventually, yung buong barkada ko nga, sumali. So I think there was a 3, 4, 6 of us na grade schoolers eventually sumali. So we were the unofficial grade school team nun. And we were training with the college guys.
Mhm.
So, yun. And after 3 months nga, sabi ko sa coach ko, Coach, kailan ba tayo sisipa sa sasapak dito sa judo?
Okay.
Siyempre, tinawanan lang ako.
Tinawanan.
Yeah, tapos by the time I got into high school, we had a English teacher nun who
Mhm.
was an alumni from the UP judo team. So he started the high school judo team nun.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I think I was nung first year high school ako nun, my brother si Ali, he started training judo na rin sa college.
Mhm.
So ayun, then we were training. So we both started training. I was training in high school. Tapos after ng training ko sa high school, sasabahan ko yung brother ko na training sa college.
College.
So I was
Okay.
training twice a day nung high school. And then very active competitively nung high school. I joined all the
Mhm.
tournaments that we had at that time.
Mhm.
And then till college, I was very competitive. And then about 5 years after college, I was still very competitive.
Mhm.
So eventually, nung nag-college ako, sumali na rin ako sa UAAP team
Okay.
ng Ateneo. And then after college, I started coaching sa Ateneo. So I did that for 7 years, from 2001 to
Okay.
2008.
That part,
So
di ko narinig yun. Yung nag-coach ka rin pala ng judo sa Ateneo
yeah.
before.
So yeah, I was the head coach for the men's team from
Mhm.
2001 to 2008. So I wasn't coaching the women's team. It's just the men's team lang talaga. So
Okay.
during my competitive years, nung high school, I think I reached the title ng national champion sa juniors. So
Okay.
17 and below. I was the
Mhm.
number 1 in the country nun. And
Mhm.
then nung college, I was able to hanggang never ako bakit ng third place sa mga national competitions.
Mhm.
I was just in third place nun. But it was I had some very good matches with some
Yeah, and during that time
very
it
prominent
was like
people.
it was like ano yan, UP, UST, 'di ba? Yan yung mga medyo powerhouses sa judo before eh.
Nung the first 3 years of UAAP Judo, it was still a demo sport.
Okay.
So it was UP that was dominating.
Mhm.
First 3 years, UP talaga. Tapos the first year na nag-official sport ang judo and the UAAP, it was my first playing year,
Okay.
and nandun pa rin si Ali.
Mhm.
So we were in the same team,
Okay.
and doon kami first nag-champion.
Nice. Okay.
So during that time nung UAAP, it was very different. Now, if you look at the UAAP competitions, it's a
Mhm.
7-man team.
Yep.
Each weight category is represented, no?
Mm.
Back then, it was a 5-man team. So,
Mhm.
may match order na yan. So, kunyari, UP, Ateneo, UE, Lasal,
Mhm.
and UST, Ateneo, ganun. So, yun na yung brackets mo.
Okay.
So, before the match starts, let's say, UP and Ateneo, UP will make a list ng 5 players na i-field niya. So,
Mhm.
player 1 is, ito may name. Player 2, may name. And kung sino kalaban mo, pag pumila na. Kasi 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, so on hanggang 5 versus 5.
Okay.
So, it doesn't matter kung anong weight division mo. Kung isang number ka nalagay, pwedeng
Doon
extra
ka.
lightweight versus heavyweight. Oo. So, ayan. So, medyo tumidiskarte rin yung coach kung anong
Ah.
tingin niya. Tingin ko, ilalaban lang si Geto sa number 1 kasi pambato
Ah.
nila yan. So,
Mm.
may konting ganong diskarte.
Yep.
It was very unpredictable, but it was very exciting at the same time.
Mhm.
Ayun, then after, so that was my first playing year. We won the UAAP championships
Mhm.
with my brother. And then, the next championship that we had was, I think 3 years after I started coaching na. So medyo malayo na rin. After nun, parang nagkaroon ng 7-year championship streak ang UST. And then, so on my first coaching year, I had an all-rookie cast na, no?
Okay.
And then, I told yung mga freshmen ko nun, sabi ko, bigyan nyo ako ng 3 years, and then gagawin ko kayong champions. So basta bigyan nyo sa akin yung 3 years na yun. So we called it the 3-year plan. So I was very happy to see nga na after 3 years, naging champions nga sila. So that was the second UAAP championship ng Ateneo. And then after that batch, we started with another 3-year plan. So
Okay.
we did the same thing. So after 3 years, nag-champion na ulit ang Ateneo. And that was my last coaching year. Then I migrated to Africa. And then that's when I stopped teaching judo. But so, and after that, there was I think 7 years naman straight na Ateneo Rose champion. So the first championship year ng 7-year streak ng Ateneo, the first one there, I was the coach. But I was succeeded by some very very prominent and very talented coaches. Sina Coach Robert Divina, sina Coach Gilbert, and of course my brother Ali was there, and they were able to parang get that seed that we planted and make a legacy out of the Ateneo Judo for us. So at the same time I started coaching for Ateneo sa Judo, there was a Jujitsu team noon. It was a Manimal Jujitsu Academy back then.
Yeah. Manimal. Classic yan.
And nung time na yun, they wanted to have a judo class. So they're asking if there's any one of us that wants to teach. So they offered it to my brother first, kay Ali, but si Ali was busy. So I took up the position. So the deal was I'll teach judo once a week, and then I get to train in all of their classes for free.
Okay.
So I took it up. So when I started training jiu-jitsu, it was very enlightening. Kasi when I was still
Manimal
in judo,
pala during that time, Prof.
si Miles Vives, saka
Si
si
Miles
Mike.
na. Okay, Miles and Mike Vives. Okay.
Tapos it was very enlightening because when I was still in judo, when all I was doing was judo, the moment I got into the men's division, 18 years old and above, where submissions were legal, 75% of my matches ended up in arm bars.
Okay.
So as in literally, if I had 4 matches in a day, 3 of them would be arm bars. And it was very, very consistent. I think I had a reputation that began when I joined my very first men's competition. So I just turned 18 and I joined my very first men's nationals. And I fought against this SEA Games veteran natin na taga Zamboanga. I think he was a policeman. His name was Ferdinand Cudao. And he was a black belt, and he was very intimidating. He's tall, he's lean. That's I'm just this 18-year-old fledgling brown belt pa lang. Everyone was expecting him to wipe the floor with me, no?
Parang ikaw yung easy fight. Ako
yung easy fight. So when he got me in a foot sweep and I fell, he gets a score, but I rotated really fast and I got the arm bar. And he didn't want to tap. Eventually, I got the tap.
Okay.
And then,
ayaw po magtap.
And after nun, parang yung tuloy-tuloy na. And everyone all the coaches that I met after was like, oh, yan yung nagtapay ko daw.
Yan.
So,
street cred na to. Ito na yung may street cred.
Yun yung street cred ko. Then after nun, it was just there. I think at that time, nobody really cared for submissions sa judo nung time na yun. But, I found a liking to it. I found that I was more, I gravitated towards the ground game a lot more than the throwing game. So marunong rin ako bumato. I just like to
naman, di ka naman black belt sa judo kung di ka marunong bumato. Diba?
But yun na nga, kasi nobody defended it. Nobody was uh, knowledgeable in defending it.
Yep.
It just wasn't valued.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other clubs that I get to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ano yun
Mm-hmm.
eh. Parang it's yan. So yeah, it was cheap for them. So they just didn't develop any defense against it, and
Okay.
we exploited that. And because of that, because I won 75% of my matches with arm bars, I thought I was good. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm 22 years old. I joined Jiu-Jitsu classes, and I'm rolling against these 14-year-old kids. I get them in an arm bar, and then they'll hitchhike out of it. And
Oh.
I've never seen a hitch. I've never
Hitch.
seen a hitchhike in my life
The
before.
hitchhike
Before that,
reversal
so I
move.
thought, oh, so ano to? Parang, why is this 14-year-old kid getting out of my arm bar?
Mm-hmm.
Eh, may pangalan na ako. I mean,
Uh,
in my ego-filled 22-year-old head back then, parang, anong ginagawa nitong 14-year-old na to, di ba? So, yeah, eventually, then after so many roles and, I just realized there's a lot more things that I didn't know. Parang things I thought I was good at, I wasn't pala.
mm-hmm.
And I'm not as good a ground player as I thought I was. So yeah, I just kept on training. I liked it. The people in Manimal back then, they were tough guys,
Mm-hmm.
They trained hard, but at the same time, tawa-tawa lang. So uh just like regular dudes, which was unheard of. That is martial arts. Dati pag martial arts ka, parang my martial arts is the best. Para ako ang sensei.
Oh.
Pero wala pa yung foreign pa yung surfer jiu-jitsu culture nung time na yun eh.
Oh.
And then that was brought to, and then I was exposed to that sa Manimal, and galing, I was no. So same way na I found the chill nature of the judo team nung grade school ako to be attractive, and that's what made me stay. Ganun din sa jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So and then from Manimal, I think we became New Breed, right? And that's when we started competing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, so New Breed back then, the teams that you know right now as Apex Jiu-Jitsu, Origins, and Cobrinia, yun yung New Breed dati.
New Breed dati.
So eventually, we all went our own ways, and I formed Origins with Mike Vives and with Aldo Torres.
Yeah.
And so what we believe in Origins is that, while we are very passionate about jiu-jitsu, while we put a lot of value in it in our lives, there's a lot of things about it also that can become distractions. There's having been part of a really big team, tas biglang naghiwalay-hiwalay.
Yep.
Those forks or branching out happened for reasons, some good, some not. But what we learn from all of that is what you have to always remember to keep yourself grounded and to keep jiu-jitsu fun is to always remember why you started training in the first place.
Yes.
So why did you start training? For me, I started training because I wanted to. I like jiu-jitsu. I wanted to be better at it, and I had a lot of fun training jiu-jitsu. I met a lot of good people there, very accommodating, sincere, and people that genuinely wanted to help. So those are the reasons I started training. And anything else that kind of distracts you from that, it's not important, right? Parang when you start thinking about bakit ako hindi na-promote, ganyan-ganyan. Parang, all those distractions or whatever politics that that is included in being a senior in jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
That's all just noise, right? If you get bothered with all those noise, just ground yourself back to the origins of why you started in the first place. So for us, it's about learning constantly. It's about having fun, and it's about helping others. And every time that you do that for each training session, then it's a good training session.
That is true. Kasi, ano lang naman yan eh. I think it the whole issue of the excesses, kumbaga, di ba? Like the excess emotions, or ano na lang yan eh. How did I put it before? These are just like ego pockets na lang yan sa mga tao. Especially yung mga nade-disappoint na pag promotion day tapos hindi sila na-promote. Parang ano na lang yan eh, di ba? Ego check na lang sa'yo yan eh, di ba? I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why it's such a big deal for most students now, di ba? Pag hindi ka na-promote,
Mm-hmm.
hindi ka na-promote, di ba? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't join this class, you didn't join or didn't start doing jiu-jitsu for the promotions, di ba? So, I mean, kahit ako, red flag na sa akin yun eh. Like, now that I'm coaching, especially pag may nag-i-inquire, tapos, ang unang question, paano promotion dyan? Sabi ko, ay! Parang hindi tayo magkakasundo. Sabi ko, merong ibang school, doon. Try mo. Kasi medyo hindi ka pwede sa amin. Hindi ka pwede sa akin. Kasi right off the bat, if that is your goal, then ano yan eh. I don't know for other schools, pero at least ako, hindi siya ang priority ko. And like, I want to step back a bit muna, Prof. Like, speaking of manimal to new breed before it transcended into origins of today. This is a common question I asked the pioneers, kumbaga eh. How were you able to sustain or maintain the semblance of a jiu-jitsu lifestyle during a time wherein people have had no idea what was jiu-jitsu? Like, what kept you going on?
Oh.
What kept you, like, for sure, there were times na it's either you question yourself or other people will question you na parang ano ba yung ginagawa mo? I mean, di ba? It's taking a lot of your time. You're not gonna earn from it. Nobody knows what it is, di ba? Nobody understands, di ba? So at least people have an idea of the things that you had to go through, that I had to go through, di ba? And it will be it will give students of today and tomorrow a better appreciation of the history of how the jiu-jitsu scene in the Philippines was molded.
Yeah. Well, I guess that the answer to that question is very different for each stage of your
Mm-hmm.
life that you're at,
Mm-hmm.
Let's say when I was younger, definitely it's all about, a lot of it was about competition.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from a judo background where uh, competition is just seen merely as another form of practice.
Mm-hmm.
Parang it's just something that you do,
Yep.
Something that you do reps, you do rolls, you do competitions. Part yun nun eh. And of course, finding out what you're capable of and how good you really are. Those are the motivations back then.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, even at that time, parang things start creeping in when you get injured. So, bakit ko ba ginagawa sa sarili to? Parang everyone else is having fun, may gimmick. Ako, nag-training. I remember specifically, there was this one training session. I was working already. I was coming from Makati. Tapos I was driving to Quezon City for the very first training namin for my second Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Hyped ako na. I want to train. Then I get a phone call from a friend of mine. He says, TJ, may ticket ako to the Incubus concert tonight, extra. Ano na lang. Sumama ka na. Tapos parang, shit, ano gagawin ko dito? First training namin for the tournament. So, eventually, I just told my friend, sorry, but I have to train tonight.
Diba? I mean, these are the things that people, diba? I mean, for us, it makes sense. But, these are some of the things that people, kahit nga ako hanggang ngayon, I find it difficult to explain to people. Kasi it's so hard to explain something that other people don't really do. Diba? They don't undergo the process. So, kaya rin siguro ginawa ko to kasi I want to, siguro if I can't make the words for it, somebody else has a better answer to it. Diba? Kasi ano siya it's a very intrinsic, it's a very internal processing na wala, it just makes sense. Going to the gym and seeing the people that you love and learning something that you know is gonna make yourself better just makes more sense. It just makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Hmm.
Diba? And
I
then
guess
like
when I think about when you're younger, at least when I was younger, I guess the it was finding value in
mm-hmm,
myself and the things that I was doing. It was
mm-hmm,
the motivation. It was the motivation for me to uh, train while trying to build a career at the same time.
mm-hmm,
Kasi nung time na heavy naman ako into jiu-jitsu competition, I was already working nun. So
mm,
my schedule back then was I would pag competition pag gipit na talaga,
mm,
I would wake up, get on an elliptical machine in the morning,
mm-hmm,
get to work, lunchtime
mm-hmm,
I'll lift weights,
mm-hmm,
sa gabi I'll do either judo or jiu-jitsu. Tapos
mm-hmm.
pag normal day naman, tanggalin mo lang yung elliptical machine sa umaga, but weights at noon and
Oo.
then martial arts sa gabi.
Mm-hmm,
So and yeah, it's very taxing. I guess if
mm-hmm.
in retrospect, nung pagbata ka naman, it just seemed like, since kaya, kakayanin
Oo,
eh.
kaya,
But
kakayanin.
I guess
Diba?
the drive behind that is, trying to find value in yourself and accomplishment, trying to find value in accomplishment, trying to find value in the training.
Mm-hmm,
That was the motivation. When you get
mm-hmm,
older, it's a bit different, di ba? Kasi biglang papasok ka dyan, especially pag may pamilya ka na, parang,
mm,
why am I spending so much time doing this
mm-hmm,
when I should be allocating the time to earning for my family, to putting
mm-hmm,
food on the table, di ba?
mm-hmm.
Parang, if you think about it, di ba, what they say, for you to earn a black belt, the time you put into earning a black belt, you could have gotten yourself a medical degree already.
Oo nga, yeah. And
Mas malaki pa kikitain mo.
sabi nga ni Saulo, it was like when we no, no, when he was here and then we went out and then he goes like, Franco, do you have your own school? Sabi ko, no. Why? You're a black belt. Sabi ko, eventually, Saulo. Sabi ko, eventually. Sabi ko, I'm just doing the things that I've shelved for so many years. Okay, but I want you to have your own school. Sabi ko, yeah, of course. I'll probably have my own DefTech chapter. Sabi, because you're a black belt. That's 2 doctorate degrees. Sabi ko, that's like twice going to medical school. Sabi ko, oh nga, no. I mean, when he said that, doon ko lang na-realize na parang, oh nga, no, parang ka na pala nag-doktor, no?
Yeah. Mm.
Diba? So,
Yeah. So, I guess, di ba, parang when you consider those things, parang it doesn't really make sense nga, di ba?
mm-hmm.
But at the same time, all those hours that you put in already has to have some purpose in it.
Yes. Yes.
Di ba? It has to have culminated to some purpose. And that's what motivates me now. No?
Mm-hmm.
Parang, what was the purpose of me doing all of that? Diba?
Mm-hmm.
Kahit pa paano that spark should still be alive. There's still
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm not teaching jiu-jitsu full time. I have my own business, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, but so I'm not fully committed to it as a lot of our other brothers are.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a sense of purpose for me, pa rin, in continuing my jiu-jitsu. So all the years that I've dedicated to learning, I want to pass that on. So
Mm-hmm.
I moved to the south in in Nuvali. I
Mm-hmm.
saw there is a need for jiu-jitsu here, so I
Yep.
started the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, we want to grow the community
Mm-hmm.
nationwide. So I'm doing a lot of work for the Jiu-Jitsu Federation of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And then internationally, the role I found myself at is representing the Philippines as a referee
Yes.
in national competitions. So
Yes. One of the
that's my
best.
purpose right now.
Mm.
Uh,
And
I don't know.
that great, diba? And the amount of work that you're putting in, clearly, diba? The jiu-jitsu team during the last SEA Games showed up. As in, everyone accomplished. Di ko lang, parang mas halos lahat nag-medal eh, 'di ba? So that clearly
Yeah.
shows the program, the progression, the time that was allotted by the athletes and the support by the participating teams. And then when pinagkwentuhan nga namin ni Aldo to, na parang during the entire during the whole coverage, nasa meeting ako pero nakabukas yung laptop ko pero meron akong maliit na box ng YouTube, pinapanood ko yung mga sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, Dean Rojas, kakainin ni Dean Rojas to. Gian D, okay, kaya ni Gian to. Di ba? Sabi ko, okay. Tapos yung muntik, nahuli ako ng slight kasi nung laban ni Kyla, tsaka ni, sino yung AOJ girl na yun?
Constance.
Hindi, si Kyla, tsaka yung ano nila, yung
girl from Cambodia.
Yun.
Si Jessica Khan.
Jessica Khan, ayun. So, muntika na si Jessica. Sabi ko, sa meeting ako, nagsasalita siya. Biglang sabi ko, tangina, muntikan ka na doon. sabi nung nagmamoderate ko, you have a question? Sabi ko, hindi, wala. Sobrang jahe yung moment na yun. Kasi I was cheering for Kyla nun. Sabi ko, muntikan ka na, gago ka. Sabi ko, muntikan ka na. and I mean, that was, for me, that was a good sign to not just Southeast Asian countries, but I mean, sige, let's thinking big, it's global. Pero like Asian region, parang di ba? You think you guys are good? Ano yan? Sabi ko, I'm proud to say we're better. Kasi like for example, nag-compete kami ni Jaguar. Parang ilan lang kaming Pinoy noon. Parang Taiwan National Open ba yun? Parang knots and crosses na contingent. It was me, him, Oliver Domingo. Parang 3 lang ata kami noon. Parang 3-4 punta kami doon. Tapos when we won, people are asking like, where are you from? Sabi, I'm from the Philippines. Wow, Jiu-Jitsu's Philippines. Sabi ko, parang Philippines Jiu-Jitsu? Sabi ko, yeah. Sabi ko, don't worry. Sabi, you guys so good. Sabi ko, don't worry. There's plenty of us back home. Sabi ko, there's plenty of us back home. Just watch out. Sabi ko, just watch out. There's plenty of us back home. I'm not the only one. You say I'm good. Sabi ko, there's plenty of people like me back home. Just so you wait, man. Sabi ko. So,
when was this? When was the Taiwan Open?
2000... Kailan ba kami nagpunta ni Jaguar noon? 17 or 18? Okay. Basta yan, ang tawag dito, ang noon, sa may Taipei 101 pa ata yung venue noon, or a mall near Taipei 101. No, it's not in Taipei 101 mismo. Do kami nag-Din Tai Fung after. Parang this is Taipei 101 and there's like a school or a gym doon. So pag-akyat namin doon, parang doon ko rin nakita that's where I saw like the Taiwan Jiu-Jitsu scene. Just like any Jiu-Jitsu scene, people are so nice. People are very competitive. Pero you know that the atmosphere is very, there's that's the thing about Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. Kasi when you go to MMA tournaments, diba, pagpasok ko pa lang, feel mo na kagad yung intensity ng mga tao. Kasi it's an MMA event, diba? It's an MMA fight. Pero sa Jiu-Jitsu tournament, when you enter the venue, the look is very calm, but you know that underneath people are just, there's that certain intensity na underlying, na parang hindi mo ma-explain di ba? So when we got there, parang okay, chill mga tao, okay. Pero makikita mo pag nasa bullpen ka na, sabi ko, Jag, mukhang papatayan na, parang gusto ko pagpatayan ng mga tao dito. So that was a very fun experience for us. And when Jag and I won gold in our divisions and tas nag-silver ako sa absolute. Tapos yun nga, that's where people are like, where are you from? So I'm from the Philippines. So sabi, wow, Philippines. Siyempre, some of the guys like Makoto was there. So Makoto knew me. He's like,
alam na yan.
Pero like some of the schools that were there, they're like, the Philippines is Jiu-Jitsu. Sabi ko, yeah. Jiu-Jitsu is getting big there. So there's plenty of people like me. So at least yan. And I like the progression of I mean, to be honest, I'm happy that Jiu-Jitsu is getting traction, pero I think it could be more. I just don't know yet, or I have to figure out how the message can get across. Kasi I really think that everyone should know Jiu-Jitsu. Diba? Pero ikaw, Prof, like the progression of Jiu-Jitsu from the time that you started up to now, like, are you happy with the progression?
Well, yeah. I mean, dati walang tournaments eh. And a while ago, we're talking about there's 50 black belts now and you're
Mhm.
not happy with it. Imagine mo yung
Mm.
time namin, zero. Zero
Exactly.
black
Yun
belts.
nga eh.
Nag-start kami. Purples lang yung highest rank nung time na yun, di ba?
Saka dati pag
So
purple
kami
belt ka, parang
mag-prep
Diyos ka na eh, no? Parang,
oh,
yeah.
untouchable yun. Eh. Kasi
Oo.
nung pumasok ako, the blue belts were untouchable.
Mhm.
Lalo na yung purples. Tapos pag nakakita ka ng brown belt, para ka nakakita ng ginto sa
Unicorn.
unicorn. Yung pa lang, di ba? So, it's, we've progressed, uh, leaps and bounds na since the time that all of this started. I'm very happy. Uh, in terms of, can it be bigger? Of course it can.
Mhm.
The, the model for this would always be taekwondo. I mean,
Mhm.
you can see how taekwondo is the most widely practiced martial arts in the Philippines.
Yes.
And you can see with the way they've organized themselves, the way they're marketing themselves, and that's something that we can learn,
Yes.
from, and hopefully duplicate, diba?
Mhm.
Kasi, if you look at taekwondo, we don't have any affinity to it in terms of patriotism. Hindi naman native to us ang taekwondo. Taekwondo is just as foreign to us as Jiu-Jitsu is, but
Yes.
it's gotten a foothold in our country like nothing else. More than Arnis. Arnis is now our national sport.
Yes.
But there's more taekwondo practitioners than
Oo nga,
Arnis.
no? Yeah.
Diba? So it's a matter of organizing ourselves, diba?
Mhm.
And then look at what taekwondo is doing, learn from that, and hopefully follow suit.
That is a
No?
very good
Because
analogy. Kasi I never really thought of looking at it from that model. So at least then it's a very good perspective to look at. And then from your training to competing, how was the transition from being the student competitor, now you're the coach, you're the teacher? How was that transition? Like, was it something
well,
that was natural progression? Did it fell in your lap, or did you really want to teach? Like, looking ahead, parang hindi ako gusto ko talaga mag-coach.
well, nung I transitioned into teaching because our instructor back then, Miles Vives,
Mhm.
who was I was training with Miles for about a couple of years at that point, and he was teaching all the classes. And then he just told us, I'm going back to the US and I'm leaving the
Mhm.
team with you guys. So
Okay.
at that time it was iniwan niya sa akin, kay Ali, kay Aldo Torres, kay Ariel
Mhm.
Valenova, kay
Mhm.
Mark Entrata, and kay Aaron Lee. So those were
Mhm.
the names that he left us with. So I was teaching judo already back then. So parang it was a natural transition for me, I guess. But
Mhm.
the difference though is parang judo has a set curriculum. You have
Yeah.
the Gokyo no Waza, which is the set of the basic 40 throws, and then
Mhm.
there's tons of footage out there that you can study the champions from. And then you have the Kodokan Institute where you can go for seminars and certifications.
Mhm.
Jiu-Jitsu had none of those back then. Wala pa tayo mga online platforms, walang online dojos noon. Tapos very minimal videos lang. You'll go to Squadron shop sa Green Hills. Nun, bibili ko yung
Alam mo
videos
kung bukas
ni
si
Mario
Squadron ngayon,
Sperry.
mayaman na yun. Hindi mo maintindihan. Di ba? Kung bukas pa rin si Squadron
Marunong siya
hanggang ngayon.
mag-streaming.
Di ba? Pwede siya
Yeah.
exclusive distributor siya ng
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so uh, it kind of fell into my lap. I didn't really seek for it, but I knew that my jiu-jitsu journey had to continue. So I helped the people around me as much as I could.
Mhm.
So far, so good. I mean, you were able to form origins from that perspective.
Mhm.
But as the years gone by, you realize there's a lot more to teaching than just what happened. I was an active competitor,
Mhm.
and the routines that I learned, I could teach, and there's a lot more in-depth theory and knowledge that you had to learn. So it's a constant, active gathering of knowledge, reading
Mhm.
books, watching videos, and a lot of that goes into being a teacher, no?
Mhm.
Especially now na kasi before it was just like a simple club namin sa origins. We had our Rockwell branch na
Mhm.
it's not our own place naman. We're sharing the time in a dance studio, laying out our
Mhm.
mats there, tapos teaching what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like what's your story, si Saulo says you should open a school, diba? What does that mean? What does that
Mm-hmm.
mean if you're going to open a school? So I
Yes.
moved here to the South. I started thinking, okay, if I'm going to open up a school, what does that mean?
Mm.
Is it going to be the same as what we were doing before sa Rockwell, or it has to evolve from that? And it does, eh. Kasi when you're talking about a
Yes.
club and a school, those are two different things. Eh. Clubs, parang, you know, you're just kind of winging it. Eh. School, I'm the black belt there. I have to define parang, okay, if I'm getting a white belt off the street, what's the most efficient way for me to get him from point A to point B being a
Exactly.
blue
Mm-hmm.
belt? And what are the requirements of a blue belt?
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So, uh, the way that my mind is wrapping around this idea is, okay, IBJJF says there's a minimum 1 year for you to be a white belt to jump into blue belt, or 1 year
Mm-hmm.
and a half, no?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that 1 year and a half to build a curriculum. Very much like parang if you jump from grade 1 to grade 2, 1 year yun.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
10-month curriculum. What
Mm-hmm.
are you going to teach in those 10 months? So
Mm-hmm.
IBJJF says a year and a half for you to get from white to blue. What lessons are you putting into that 1 year and a half? Diba? And it has to be defined. Hindi na,
Yep.
I think, I've evolved from the thinking na parang pag ready na siya. Ganun kasi dati. There's a lot of schools na still do it that way, and because that's the way they learn, that's the way they got promoted. But if you're really building a school like how we went to school,
Yeah.
there has to be some definitions of it, diba?
Yep.
So what are the things that the beginner should be learning? They say na parang an average blue belt can defeat any black belt ng ibang martial arts. Diba?
Mm.
So, para marating mo sa ganun, what are the things that they need to know?
Yep.
Right? So, they need to have a takedown. They need to know how to pass the guard.
Yep.
They need to know how to finish from side mount, finish from full mount, finish from back control. They need to be able
Yes.
to fight from close guard, fight from half guard, fight from open guard.
Yep.
Yun. So, once you have those, fill in the blanks sa ganun, then you have your curriculum for white belt.
Yeah.
Diba? And you have to be able to test that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then you do the same thing for blue belt and purple belt, brown belt, so on and so forth. That's what having a school means for me.
Mm-hmm.
No? And then I know that some people will say that it's not as black and white as that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't be operating blindly. You have to have some set of guidelines to define what these things are. Because people will quit if they don't know what they're working hard for, or they don't know what they're aspiring for. They can't just keep on putting in the work. We're not a Zumba class.
Yeah.
We're a martial arts with progressions, diba?
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have to really put some thought into it, right? If you're a strength coach, you don't get a person from the street and ask him to do a 400-pound deadlift right there in front of you.
That's true.
But at the same, so if you look at that in a Jiu-Jitsu analogy, you don't get somebody and teach from scratch and teach them the bare and bola from the start. There's progressions. There's certain skills that they need to acquire, and for them to get there, you'll have to define what those things are. So
ako totally agree. Kasi ano yan eh, for us in the Jiu-Jitsu community or whoever's done martial arts, it's easy for us to understand na parang you'll know what you know, or I mean, it holds some truth, pero that's something that I learned along the way when I started. Hindi na nga when I started coaching, when I'm trying to sell the Jiu-Jitsu program to people who had no idea what Jiu-Jitsu was about. Kasi they always ask you like, how is the progression, or how do you reach from point A to point B? You can't really just say na just show up in training, diba? Hindi na pwede yung ganun eh. They have to, diba? There has to be, kumbaga, there has to be a structure, a certain amount of structure in place, so that people can digest the information, and then you go from there. Diba? Kasi ano yan eh, mahirap yung punta ka na lang, sige, nagpunta, nag-enjoy sila, pero yun nga, when the follow-up questions are asked and then you don't have an answer, hindi ka makaka-convert. Di ba? Conversion is
Oo.
very hard. Sign-ups are gonna, I mean, you can post all you want in your social media accounts, pero if you can't answer the questions, di ba, it's gonna be hard to get students. So at
Yeah.
least, ayan, at least, I mean, these are the things that especially when you're trying to set up your own school, diba? So how was, I mean, with that regard, how was the from just being a club to taking over Origins, and then now you set up, like, how were other challenges of setting up your own school, especially in a place like Santa Rosa wherein wala pa masyadong may alam ng Jiu-Jitsu, diba? How were you able to
Yeah.
promote it?
Well, yan, there's pros and cons
Mm-hmm.
to being out here and not having a lot of people be knowledgeable about it. Number one, I think Jiu-Jitsu is mainstream enough so people have an idea of what it is, kahit papano. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not starting from scratch talaga and educating people around here what Jiu-Jitsu is about, no?
Mm-hmm.
They have an inkling, they have an idea, and there's enough of those people that know about Jiu-Jitsu
Mm-hmm.
that that is enough for you to start school
Mm-hmm.
with, no? So, I didn't get to operate long enough the school that we opened because of the pandemic. I
Mm.
opened up I moved here, then I started teaching in my garage for a year, and we had
Yeah.
a constant 5 people training. There's people that
Ang
came and
ganda nga
went,
ng setup
but
mo eh. Sabi ko, pato, okay yung setup ni TJ ah. Garage jits talaga ah.
yeah, kasi we were still establishing ourselves in the community. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
another important part there.
Mm-hmm.
Before we decided to make to really build a school and open up in the mall,
Mm-hmm.
we established ourselves in the community first.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning so we got the school for the kids, and we got active in the parents association there, and then we made some friends in the community, and once people got to know us already, then they supported us when we put
Mm-hmm.
the school up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the parents and the community here, they saw na I was involved in the SEA Games. I was refereeing there,
Mm-hmm.
and I put them all on my Facebook. Friends sa kami lahat, and then I post
Mm-hmm.
about yung refereeing in the Worlds in Abu Dhabi, and yung mga in-house tournaments namin sa Origins here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the small class that we have here in the house. So by the time we opened up in the mall, it was primed and ready. So it took about a year of preparation to make sure now when we do open here, we have enough of a following that people
Mm-hmm.
that can sustain the school.
Mm-hmm.
No? Fortunately nga lang, we opened March 2, March 16, kina-close namin lahat.
Diba?
But for
Bad trip
that
talaga ng
short
COVID na to eh. Okay.
bad trip talaga. But for that short amount of time that we were open, we had 30 students.
And
So
that's a
that big
very good
jump from
number.
5,
That was a very nice number. Okay.
and that was pre-summer.
Mm-hmm.
That was pre-summer, no? So that's a combination of the kids and the teens and the adults. So I had 3
Still, ito,
programs.
grabe yun. Masayang number na yung 30.
It was very good, no? So it was very promising, and that was March, And kung umabot kami ng summer vacation, April, who knows what the numbers would have been, diba? And yun nga lang, it was very unfortunate, but we just gotta parang tiisin lang muna natin yung nangyayari. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
Strengthen everything on the back end muna, do some stuff online. For me, I started making these videos na yung third man on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I thought I could help the Jiu-Jitsu community while we're not allowed to train on the mats just yet, no? So the past 2 tournaments I've refereed, I got a video camera, and I took a video of almost all the matches that I refereed.
Okay.
So I have a small library that I can work with right now. So I'm breaking them down.
Galing. Yeah, go. Okay yan.
So I've had 3 videos up already. And ayan, nasira yung mic ko. So now I got this. So ikaw gumawa ng 4th one.
Oh, okay yan.
So the purpose of those videos are to inform people of the rules of Jiu-Jitsu, of the sport of Jiu-Jitsu, no? How is what is the objective of the game? How do you win the game, right? And what are the rules governing the game, right? Because if people understand it, then people will appreciate it more.
Yes.
Not just for the players, but for the general public, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a commentary, it's a breakdown. I'm starting off with matches that I have refereed because I don't want to inadvertently critique the work of other referees. So yung akin na muna. Then I'm hoping the other
That
referees.
is a very good idea, Prof. Okay.
So I have about 3 videos up there right now, and the next video I'm putting up, it's there's some very really good lessons that we can learn from that. And kasi the idea came about from directly from my experience refereeing. There's a lot of competitors. There's a lot of coaches that surprisingly are not familiar with the rules. No?
Yes.
And they complain to the referee, which is okay lang naman. I mean, as a referee, there's going to be complaints. But I think the thing that has more of an impact is they can actually lose a match because they're not familiar with the rules.
Yep.
Isipin mo all the hard work, all the sacrifices they've done, they've made during training, missing out on Incubus concerts at all. Tapos biglang napasok sila sa tournament. Tapos hindi nila alam na bawal pala mag-can opener. I had a match nung last tournament sa Circuit Mall. There was a kid, white belt, who went for a can opener. And
so DQ.
Yeah, DQ, di ba? Sayang. Kasi mukhang magaling siya eh. Oo. Tapos, the next video I'm putting out, there's this kid, white belt friend. He was going in for a choke. He was going in for a choke from the back, lapel choke. Tapos nag-defend yung kalaban niya.
Yeah.
So what he did, he grabbed ito yung defending arm ng kalaban niya. He grabbed the inside of the defending arm, no sleeve, to pull it off. To finish the submission.
Yeah, so syempre bawal yun.
Bawal yun. So break the fight, stand them up, penalty dun sa attacker, tapos continue. Sayang yung submission.
Yeah, sayang.
There was I remember there's this one match in particular sa Mall of Asia. So the attacker had full mount. The attacker had full mount. And then he came in for like a rear naked choke type, but from the front.
From the front.
From the front. So the guy underneath taps. Then I declare the attacker is the winner. And then sobrang nagreklamo yung coach, nagwawala na. Nagwawala na yung coach, parang neck crank yun. Bakit po, how can that be legal? Hindi po legal yan. Diba? But if you look at the IBJJF rulebook, yung position na yun, there's a picture of that saying na legal siya for white belts and above.
Yeah.
It's the example for a choke with spinal lock.
Yeah.
That's legal.
Yep, that's legal.
A spinal lock without choke is illegal, but a choke with spinal lock
is legal,
diba?
Yep.
So it's a reflection of the coach and the player. We're not familiar with the rules, diba? And baka if he knew that was legal, he could have defended it. So sayang, diba? Sayang yung mga efforts sila. And we are putting out these videos para to help the players, the coaches be more familiar with the rules, to help the general public who are just spectators to understand what's happening in the matches, why the referee is calling this and that. And ultimately, is to build a stronger Jiu-Jitsu community. If we have more familiarity with the rules, we have better performances, then we have overall better Jiu-Jitsu for the Philippines. And so that's my little way of helping the community while we're not on the mats.
And to add to your point, Prof, if Jiu-Jitsu is a good spectator sport, we can get more people to watch it. And I hope that's aligned to the project that you're doing right now. Diba? Kasi if people are more aware about the rules, if they're more aware about the point system and the submissions, they have a better appreciation of what Jiu-Jitsu is. Diba? So is Jiu-Jitsu becoming parang spectator friendly, or the transition to becoming a spectator sport a very good way to spread awareness about Jiu-Jitsu?
I'm not so sure about how to answer that question. Parang
okay lang yan,
How do you
Pwede,
go about making it a spectator sport, di ba? Parang
mm,
do you simplify the rules, but at the same time, those rules are there for a reason. Those
for a
rules
reason.
evolve. Oh, those rules evolve because of necessity,
Diba?
Parang I think what tournament rules? I think in Abu Dhabi
Mm.
they started having 1 point instead of advantages.
Yeah. Parang
Diba?
may
Parang
ganong ano. It's either that or yung kahit si Hickson, yung tournament niya, ganun din eh. Parang pag nag-pull guard ka nga, may negative points eh. Di ba?
well, that kind of makes sense. But let's say
Oo.
parang once again, let's not get distracted with examples. But
Oo.
I mean, making it mainstream like that, I don't think it still it still reaches out
Mhm.
to the people.
Mhm.
Parang the only people who will get interested in that are still the practitioners.
Okay.
Parang, I think the best way for us to make jiu-jitsu more mainstream is to organize ourselves as a federation
Mhm.
and to build out certification programs for instructors that are
Mhm.
teaching standard curriculum that all of us can respect and adhere to and
Mhm.
recognize that it's effective and still adheres to the spirit of jiu-jitsu, and
Mhm.
then roll out a massive uh, training campaign that reaches to the grassroots level in the schools. If
Mhm.
you can infiltrate the schools and have
Yes.
jiu-jitsu as part
Mhm.
of the educational system, then a lot more people will have a jiu-jitsu base in their education.
Mhm.
A lot more coaches will be given the ability to teach jiu-jitsu and earn a living from it, and
Mhm.
then uh,
I think that's a
and then
very
it
good
will become
idea. As
mainstream.
in, once you penetrate school systems, mas
Mm.
maganda yung ano. Tsaka at least, it's a good grassroots program. Diba? Kasi
Yeah,
when you discover talent like early on, you can develop that. Diba? So,
yeah.
ano na lang
So
yan eh.
that's
Kasi,
another no, that's another reason to look into taekwondo as a
mhm.
peg.
Oh
Diba?
yes,
Lahat ng
yes.
schools halos may Milo summer
Mm.
taekwondo program.
And each school has their own taekwondo class, diba? Diba? They have
Exactly.
their
Diba?
own summer program for
Mm.
taekwondo. Yes. I'll definitely look into that kasi parang maganda nga yung model niya na ganun. Kasi ano lang din eh, it's like I'm still learning and I want to implement like a lot of things that will help the community grow. Kasi
Uh,
ano na lang din yan eh. Parang what's at the end of the day, you won't take. I mean, at the end of the day, my legacy will be my students. My legacy will be my teammates. So, you have to spread as much information out there, and then, in the hopes na at least the next generation will do the same thing, and then grow the sport bigger than how you did it, So at least ayan, people we have so that at least we'll have a very good timeline. 'Di ba?
mm,
Kasi ano 'yan eh, sayang eh. Ang ganda-ganda ng Jiu-Jitsu and I know that there are a lot of Jiu-Jitsu and MMA practitioners na hindi lang nadi-discover pa or wala pa silang tamang exposure for it. So sayang. And
yeah.
I'm very happy na different schools are coming in that alam mo yun, it changes the complexity of the scene. 'Di ba? And ano
Yeah.
'yan, like more schools, more opportunities, more ways to spread jiu-jitsu, 'di ba? More ways to grow the community. And
Mm.
ano rin naman 'yan, like now as a coach and as a teacher, kung in your current students, 'di ba? So sabihin na natin if you're a white belt, okay, let's go to white, blue, purple. Okay, white, blue, purple. What should be your mindset? Okay, what should be your mindset when you're a white belt? What should be your mindset when you're a blue belt and a purple belt?
Ah, well, it's annoying. I don't think there should be like a difference in the mindset. It's
Mm.
all about linear progression.
Mm.
No? Same way as strength training. It's all about linear progression. Diba?
Mm.
Strength training. What defines the novice from an intermediate to an advanced lifter?
Mm-hmm.
Diba? It's a beginner lifter can recover fast. They can
Okay.
and they can have massive gains and improvement in performance within
Mm-hmm.
within workout periods. No? So if they
Mm-hmm.
can recover fast, if you put like a 10-pound addition into their deadlifts,
Mm-hmm.
uh, between workout A Monday, that was so they did say 100 pounds. Right? The
Mm-hmm.
they can recover fast enough by Wednesday that they can add another 10 pounds, and then
Yep.
they can add another uh, 10 pounds on the next working day, diba? Until you reach that plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos it becomes you have to have a more complex programming for them
Mm-hmm.
to eventually to take 1 week or
Mm-hmm.
4 days na before they recover. So for jiu-jitsu, it's not about intensity and recovery time ang
Mm-hmm.
variables natin, di ba? We're talking about uh, techniques, no?
Mm-hmm.
Parang since you're a beginner, there's so much to learn. There's so much things to access. Diba? Parang give them the basics of each basic position. Diba? And they should
Mm-hmm.
learn all of that. That's your
Yes.
loading. Marami ka na
Yep.
dyan. Then, as you get to higher level, you have to handpick na kung saan ka, where you find your best at.
Mm-hmm.
Finding your own game. Diba?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, starting developing. But it's just linear progression. So, sometimes you'll reach plateau just like in strength training.
Yes. Oh.
But you'll just have to find uh, some tweaks in your training for you
Mm-hmm.
to surpass that plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? What does that mean? Say for us, no, parang white belt, accumulate yung technique library or make sure you have a good foundation of techniques, and
Oh.
then blue belt, ganun din yun, but more advanced techniques, di
Mm-hmm.
ba? Purple, kailangan medyo nag-specialize ka na.
Yes.
Tapos,
Mm-hmm.
pag medyo hindi na gumagana yung specialization mo because nababasa ng mga tao, start evolving from those techniques. But
Mm-hmm.
it's all linear progression, meaning na each training session is you need to have a mindset of improving from the last one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
just
true.
a different rate of improvement na lang habang nag-a-advance ka. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to look for you have to be able to define what those uh, improvements are.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about technique library? Are we talking about reaction time? Are we talking about yung game plan mo? How does
Mm-hmm.
your initial position branch out to the different positions or
Mm-hmm.
different attack systems? Diba? It's linear progression. It's always
Mm-hmm.
improving.
And then speaking about plateau, that is like pang ano yun eh. Like kung follow-up question yan eh. During the time that you're training, and I don't know if you're experiencing the same thing now, like how do you deal with your plateaus? Kasi
Okay,
ako,
so
ang dami kong plateau, lalo na nung blue belt ako. I'm like, oh shit, sino to ah? So how were you able to deal with that? How were you able to deal with your plateaus?
okay, so what do you define as plateau in jiu-jitsu?
Mostly ano yan eh, yung parang when I went through it, it's like yung feeling mo hindi ka natututo, hindi ka nag-improve. Like when I felt it's like parang walang nagbabago, parang walang I don't know if it's like a self mindfuck thing, pero yung you know that yung feeling mo lang na parang hindi ka nag-improve. You're parang you hit a wall in your hindi nga progression in learning. So I don't know. That was how I felt during that time, and it happened a lot during kasi purple parang nung nag-purple ako parang wala na akong pakialam eh. I just wanted to train. I just wanted to have fun with this. Pero when I was a blue belt, I don't know if it was my mindset or was I trying to prove something or was I chasing something that wasn't there. So when I always hit that wall, and then ngayon parang parang yan yung plateau years eh at blue belt eh. So I mean, if you had that experience, how were you able to deal with it?
Uh, I think that's there's many reasons why a person would feel that way, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll have to as a coach you'll have to assess how to approach each one differently. So is it a matter of baka they're just using the same techniques over and over again, and
Okay.
maybe they're the top of the food chain in their club, so there's nothing new. Araw-araw, ay helicopter sweep na lang yung mga tao. Tapos, then I'll full mount, then I'll choke them. Tapos, araw-araw na lang, yun lang ginagawa ko. Wala na nagbago. Eventually, I'll feel demotivated pag ganun, diba? The student is doing that, will demotivated, no? So, you can expose them to new techniques, no? And then just tell them na, okay, so this is your game right now. And this has been your game for the past 2 years, right? You need to start evolving from that. And here are some examples of things that you can do, no? And we'll learn each of them within the next 6 months. Isa-isahin natin yan. And then whatever you find useful, you can add in your game. But during the time, okay, say, 3 techniques. For the first 2 months, ito lang gagawin, ito yung aral natin. Ito lang pwede mong gawin.
Okay.
Diba?
Yeah. Nice.
Of course, they're gonna suck. Most of the time, you're learning something new. You're gonna kind of suck at it at first, diba? And that should give them some motivation. If they need to have a carrot at the end of that stick to motivate them, sige, pag nag-tournament ka next time, pag na-pull off mo yung technique na yan, bigyan 500 pesos. Parang absolute creative. Learning new stuff is always a good thing.
Yes.
So, there's that one also. So there's that aspect, parang nagka-stagnate yung learning nila because they really haven't, they don't know where to go next.
Yes.
There's another reason na baka overtrained naman sila. No? Baka they just need to take a week or 2 off. Maybe they're physically overtrained. Their central nervous system can't adapt already to, or can't recover fast enough to the hard training that we've been doing. I know as a coach no sa Ateneo dati, I can only take my students na 2 times per week na hard competition training for a stretch of 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, the performance would dramatically decline and the people will get demotivated. So you need to have a taper off period of a week or 2 weeks depending on how your athletes are feeling. Diba? So pwede ganun. Baka nasobrahan lang talaga. Baka pinupuntahan lang nila na training sessions or puro tournament training lang. Tapos talagang gulping-gulpin na yung katawan nila. They keep on doing that for 8 weeks tuloy-tuloy. Then they just start parang demotivated, depressed na sila. Diba? So those are things that you need to look at also as a coach. Diba? And so there's many different reasons of why people are plateauing. You have to take care and and really get into the bottom of why that's happening and addressing it properly.
Diba? And then as a coach who competed, and eto na rin yan parang yung transition ng mga estudyante, how do you transition? Do you like cut class na parang, okay, whoever wants to compete, you'll be in this class. If you don't want to compete, isi-separate namin kayo. Do you practice that, or like everyone is together?
Okay, so ideally, what you would like to do is you need to have a beginner's class, you need to have a advanced class, and then you need to have a competition class. And the lessons are different for each class, no? So like what we talked about, your beginner's class is designed to get a white belt to blue belt.
Yes.
So if your curriculum or if the federation that you adhere to says na you need to have a nesting time of 1.5 years sa belt na yon, then make a curriculum na 1.5 years. Kompleto nila yon. If they finish that, then they can get a blue belt, diba?
Yes.
So sa beginner's class, yun lang tuturo mo. All the skills they need from white belt to blue. Diba? Sa advanced class, you can do the same thing. Ang recommendation ng IBJJF is 2 years nesting time at blue belt.
Yes.
So you have a 2-year curriculum. You can have a 2-year curriculum na yun lang ang tinuturo mo for them to have the skills that they need to jump from blue belt to purple belt. Diba? And then you can have an elite class, andun na yung purple, brown, and blue. And then you'll have a competition class na talagang baragan lang.
Oo.
Because there are people who will want that. Diba?
Yeah.
You can have that once a week, twice a week. Diba? And then you have the student pick which class they want to go to. Especially if your student base are professionals, nagtatrabaho yung mga yan, Jiu-Jitsu is not their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Tapos may ibang pamilya yung mga yan, they need to have that freedom to be able to pick where they want to go to. Diba? If they're just a recreational practitioner, gusto lang nila sa beginners, then okay na sila doon, di ba? If they're 50 years old na, sa beginners class na sila, great, di ba? Kung sa advanced class ang gusto nila because they wanna learn, more complex techniques and, medyo ginugulpin na nila ng tao sa beginners class, nandun na sila mag-say. Sa elite
then,
sila, if they want to learn more complex techniques, if you, I would say the elite class would be...
With the advanced classes na.
Well, I would design the elite classes like anything new that comes up in the competition circuit. Tapos pag may bagong trick na lumabas, pag-aaralan natin yan, tapos dito natin i-breakdown yan. Since na kayo lahat, may foundations na kayo from the beginners and advanced classes for you to be able to understand it. And you'll do it together as a team. And then sa competition class, for people that, parang walang pilitan. Diba? Alam mo kung sino nag-show up sa competition class. Alam mo kung sino yung mag-compete.
Yep. Tsaka ano to this is something that I'm not really surprised, pero when people find out, they are the typical Jiu-Jitsu student profile. Parang the general public has this certain, hindi ko rin alam kung saan siya nanggaling. Pero when you say Jiu-Jitsu kasi para laging, siguro kasi ang introduction ng Jiu-Jitsu sa Pilipinas was MMA, or it left a bad taste in everyone's imagery. Pero when I tell people that my students, my teammates are professionals, they're like business owners, they're well-educated people, parang talaga, ganun pala yun? As in, I kid you not. As in, nagugulat sila that the people who are working are doing this. So, at least, how would you define or describe like a typical Jiu-Jitsu student profile? Like for example, sa amin kasi it's a lot of them are professionals, and I don't understand. And have you tried asking what gravitated them towards Jiu-Jitsu?
I think that depends on the market that you're catering to, and the market you're catering to will be heavily dependent on the location of your school. So, like us, our main dojo is in Rockwell.
Yes.
So a lot of those that are there are mga members of the club or mga professionals working around the area. So, those are career-oriented people. We have a lot of people from Ateneo Law that are there, the surrounding offices. So it's not surprising for us. But that's because that's what the location and is dictating as the market. If you're operating a school like my brother's at Ateneo, then most of the time, marami estudyante dyan. Out of college and high school students are gonna be there, diba? And a lot of the people who are still around the area after they graduate, they tend to stick in their home dojo. So in your profile, mga Atenista. So,
and what makes you think bakit mataas ang retention ng Jiu-Jitsu? Like some people, when they go to a gym, okay, pag di na nila trip, ayaw nila. Pero si Jiu-Jitsu, sabi ko yan mahirap ang enrollment pero mataas ang retention.
I think it's because people can really see how they're progressing in it. Parang, okay, let's have as an example, say yoga. Yoga, di ba? Taas rin retention ng yoga. A lot of yoga teaching or teachers courses are thriving right now, di ba?
Yes.
Because there's progression Because you can actually see how you're progressing from being not flexible to being able to do a split, di ba?
Yes.
Or do a certain pose, no? Parang a crow's pose is what I'm seeing a lot of people doing a crow's pose right now on Facebook. Before they weren't able to do that, and they have that progression. They have something to strive for.
Okay.
And they can clearly define that and see how they're gonna reach. See when they reach that. So ganun din sa Jiu-Jitsu. Sa una, ginugulpi sila. Mamaya sila na yung they're able to pull off sweeps. They're able to pull off submissions, di ba? So it's very satisfying and it's very addictive. So when people find that they have that ability in themselves, they tend to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know, which is not as attractive.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Your level is advancing. You
uh-huh.
know where you're going.
Akala ko nawala si Prof doon na. Okay. Prof TJ, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for doing this. Tapos, where can people find you? Please promote your school, promote your pages, and that the project that you're working on.
Yeah. Thanks a lot to Professor Franco for having me on your podcast. Thanks to everyone that was listening. So again, my name is TJ Sulit. I am one of the founders of Origins Jiu-Jitsu. We have branches all over the city. We have branches in Rockwell for those who are in that area. We have in San Juan, that's Origins Athletics. We have in Makati again in San Lorenzo, that's in the Columns Tower now. We have a branch in Quezon City. Right now they're relocating, but they'll be reopening soon. We have our branch in Siargao, right? And then we have our newest branch, which is in Vista Mall Santa Rosa. So right now, all the branches, because of the pandemic, are not yet open. But as soon as the government allows us to operate again, we'll be resuming classes. So you can find us in our social media pages, Origins BJJ Philippines in Facebook, and Origins BJJ in Instagram. Okay?
Yung what is your breakdown videos, like the ones that you refereed, are they out right now, or are they parang i-upload mo pa lang?
Right now they're on my personal page pa lang, but we'll be putting up a separate account for that. So it's going to be called Third Man on the Mat, where we explain from a referee's perspective what's happening in jiu-jitsu matches. So hopefully that will get people more interested by learning and understanding about the sport of jiu-jitsu more, and will build a strong. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely will look forward to watching those videos kasi kahit ako kailangan ko pa siyang it's one kaya pag tinatanong ko saan mas madali mag-referee, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, sabi ko tanga na MMA, hands down. Mahirap mag-referee ng Jiu-Jitsu. Mahirap mag-referee ng Jiu-Jitsu. Something that I'm continuously working on, and to have that learning material is a gem. I will definitely look forward to that, and if it's out by the time we release the recorded version of this, I'll look for it and then I'll link it on the description below para at least people can find out where it is. So Prof. TJ, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Franco.
Okay, and with that, that's what Coach Franco says. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says would like to thank the following sponsors for making this episode possible.
The faceless emotion as your senses come together. Being in the moment is the only thing that matters. Knots and Crosses. Place your orders on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Delicious beans for your daily brew. Get your fix now with Awon Coffee. Order now on their Facebook and Instagram pages, spelled AWON Coffee. Gatorade, because nothing beats Gatorade. Inspiring community and culture. Spread the good vibes in the local Jiu-Jitsu community. Visit Ikiro Collective at ikiro.ph. Read news about the local martial arts scene here in the Philippines. Visit Local MMA on Facebook and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL. My life is about providing value and helping others achieve their goals. Please help me make more podcast episodes, video tutorials, and educational content that will benefit everybody. Support this channel by clicking the link in the description box. Thank you for your support, and I will keep making content that matters. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.